My Bambu just decides to give up the ghost right before we're packing it up. Printers that knock into things that just aren't working right. And mom and dad are still fighting. Prusa and Bambu are still going at it. All this and more, PrintFix Friday, episode 107. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here and you're going through some printer problems, make sure to leave a like and get subscribed. We want to help you get back to printing with purpose. If you are having some issues, you can reach out to us on all the social medias or email us directly, youtube@3dmusketeers.com. And hey, tag us on those socials, use the hashtag PrintFix, and add us so we can get notified of it. We want to help you. We recognize that 3D printing is not as straightforward as it should be or as it could be. And while there are some companies working to make it easier, it's not always puppy dogs and rainbows. We're here to help you where you might need it. Don't hesitate to reach out. But we have some awesome, interesting fails for you today and some fights between printer companies and the last and most weird update to my Bambu Lab X1 Carbon saga. But hey, let's work on a Sovol first. First up, a bit of a problem from Discord member Sunday, who has an SV06 Plus that is, not looking all that good. We can see that the hot end is bent at the heat break, and unfortunately, there is not much that you can do to solve this problem. This is most commonly caused by when the printer slams into something, be that the print bed, printed parts, tools, or something that was in the way. It is from force being applied where something decided it was not going to move otherwise. Now, this does say that you have pretty good bed adhesion, so cool, but there's really not an easy way to fix this. Now, the SV06 and the SV06 Plus from Sovol, as far as we can tell, they use the exact same heat breaks. And it's the heat breaks used in Enders and some other printers where it's smooth on the side that goes into the heat sink and then a screw bit that goes into the heat block itself. That's generally acceptable, but it means that that's not a normal part that you would find often inside a 3D printer repair kit. So it is good to keep some of those in stock. We'll link to some in the description down below that we have confirmed to fit. So if you do want to get some spare heat breaks, you can. You can try to bend this back. I don't recommend it because chances are you're going to overbend it and actually snap the part. But, you know, it's better than nothing, to say the least. Certainly, if you have new parts, give it a shot. The worst you're going to do is break it, then you can pull it out with a pair of pliers and move on. Unfortunately, there's just not an easy way to prevent this. The best thing that you can do is make sure you have adequate levels of Z-hop, as well that you don't leave things on the printer when you do go to move it. Because doing something like that makes this cat upset, and we don't want to make this cat upset. We do not. Next up, a fail from my buddy Uncle Jessy, who had one of the craziest experiences on a live stream that I've seen in a while. Let's take a watch.
Shit, what is this on? All right, so there are rubber feet on
You might know where this is going.
With larger rubber feet. Oh, cool. Okay.
And yeah. So let's get that freeze frame here for you guys. That is tempered glass doing what tempered glass does, going into a bazillion pieces all over his floor. And I regret to inform you that it's time for a vacuum, because Humpty Dumpty is not going back together again. And very shortly after, you get the face. The face of a man that realizes if he does not own a shop vac, he needs to go and get one. I feel so bad for Uncle Jessy here, because this is just bad luck. God, I can't say that I've been here before. I have not had glass from a printer break like this on a stream. But I will tell you, I've cut wires on a stream, and we were doing our Flying Bear Reborn 2 unboxing. I was cutting some wire channeling so that, you know, you can tuck the wires away. Unbeknownst to me, there were wires inside of that channel, so when I cut it, I cut through everything.
Oh, well, that is unfortunate, Grant. I just cut a cable. All right, we're gonna break out the soldering iron.
And spent the next 30 minutes proving that I actually know how to solder, or solder, for those that don't like my American bastardization of things. But man, this sucks. Because when you do this stuff live, there's just nothing that you can do. It just is what it is. And I'm bummed because, yeah, okay, you can get a new piece of glass and, you know, we can see that Creality is sorry and they'll absolutely get him a new piece of glass because it's an accident. But this is why we recommend, if you are going to do an unboxing of a machine or you're moving a printer with glass on it, make sure you tape the door shut. Because if it swings open like that, the force is enough to shatter the glass, as we saw. It doesn't take much to break tempered glass, except when it does take a bunch to break tempered glass. It is actually really tough to break tempered glass unless you point load it. That's why those punches for like breaking out car windows, it's just a little spring-loaded pin. That's all that it is. But try to pound on a window with your fist, it's not gonna go anywhere. You have to hit it with something with a point load. And that bending moment of inertia is absolutely causing a stress riser, and the glass says, "See you later, nerd," and ends up all over your floor. The nice thing about tempered glass, though, is that the pieces aren't normally dangerous. They're not normally that sharp, and they're not gonna likely cut you. But that doesn't mean you should go rolling around in tempered glass. Please don't do that. But it does, however, mean that it is much easier to clean up, and if you find small pieces, you're not going to find them by getting them embedded into your feet or your shoes or your hands or whatever it might be when you're trying to get all the scraps up. So A+ for using tempered glass. It's a great thing to see, but you know, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before I do something like this. So I will put a soon TM on it, and I hope it never happens. Next up, apparently Bambu Lab just wants me to say bad things about them all the time. I am trying to move away from saying bad things about Bambu and move into covering other things and at least talking about real world issues rather than just, you know, taking the easy pot shots that objectively we have done in the past. But they just make it so easy. Bambu, please, let's think about what we're gonna say before we say it. We can see that there's been some issues with Bambu's Maker World. That is their model repository site, which is basically a dead clone of Printables. Let me show you. Here we go. A great example of Printables versus Maker World. Now, this is Steon, or HBiz, as a lot of people might know him. This is his Polcopter finger ring. A great toy if you have cats, by the way. I'm sorry, but they will beg for this. I don't know about you, but it's same, a little bit different. This is exactly what it looks like when someone asks if they can copy your homework, but you say, hey, just change a couple of things. And Bambu said during the last few days, our users found out that they could no longer share their models from printables.com to Maker World, as Maker World's domain was blocked. We believe that users should have the right to share their intellectual property as they wish, just like how users transfer their models from Thingiverse to Printables. If you wish to free your models, use the link below. But see, Prusa fires back here and says imitation is the highest form of flattery. Thank you. But everyone deserves to know the bigger story about why we are blocking the URL. We started to notice weird behavior and accounts on Printables a couple of months ago doing nefarious things. Later, we realized Bambu Lab developers were reverse engineering Printables how we work internally. The first big strike was uploading stolen models, probably to see how we are handling them and users reporting it. The second big strike was a spam campaign via their internal messaging system, which many users reported. This forcing us to implement site-wide spam filters. It is tough, but ultimately we are in the clear here. We are not blocking anyone's models from being transferred, and we will not interfere with verification via unique codes, so we suggest dropping the Free My Models campaign and start playing fair. Anyone, should we add green mode toggle to Printables so there is no reason to migrate? Let's dig into this a little bit. First off, I have not used Maker World, so let me be very clear about that, and I have no intention of using Maker World. It brings no value to me whatsoever, and, you know, hey, pick your poison there. And to give credit where it's due, this was Pooch's image. So Pooch did this. It's the same damn thing. It's just, hey, make it look a little different. Like, everything looks the same. If you're gonna copy somebody's homework, do a little bit of a better job of making sure it's not actually a direct copy. And while there are people in even my Twitter thread about this saying, oh, it's just Joe being all butthurt because Bambu did something unique. I don't actually see a lot of unique things here, with the one thing that would argue against that. Bambu has enabled the ability to print directly from Maker World. You can use your phone via the Handy app and print directly to your Bambu printer, which is kind of valuable, except all the slicing is done in Bambu's cloud server. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a single source of failure. As we've talked about before, downloading G-code files from any website, Printables, Maker World, whomever, is dangerous because it is very easy for a bad actor to have bad code inside of that file, sending your printer into a tizzy of problems. If you have a slicing side that has direct access to pretty much every printer that is networked for Bambu, I don't think I need to really go into the potential problems that we have here, but it only takes access to one server now to get access to all the Bambu printers available, and certainly an easy access way to inject malicious code as it's happening. You all can take that for whatever grain of salt that you want, but with Bambu's track record of having less than decent security when it comes to their cloud services, I would think twice before I connect Maker World to my Bambu printers. It is something that you really have to be concerned about. If all you're doing is downloading an STL file or a 3MF and then opening it in Bambu Studio, or more specifically maybe Orca Slicer, great. I'm happy for you, use whatever works for you. But if you're gonna print directly, be a little careful there. I am told that there are also ways to change certain settings in there, where you can use the settings that the individual provides, or you can use settings provided by Bambu. I would like to see more granular control to that, because I think that would kind of open up more opportunity. But of course, you have to limit it, because at that point, when does it just become a phone-based slicer? And therefore, it's no longer having a lot of value beyond what Bambu Studio or Orca Slicer already do. Bambu, I don't get it. You guys have all this opportunity to do really amazing things, and in fact, have pretty decent printers, regardless of my personal experience, which, by the way, gets worse in this episode. You guys have an opportunity to really shake up the industry, and I think you have been doing it, but doing it in this way, where you're just picking and choosing where you utilize the terms intellectual property, and you then also look at stealing other people's code. I don't understand why you would choose to just kneecap yourself like that. I want to believe that Bambu is out for growth and for the greater good in this industry, but it's moves like this that make me wonder, are they really just doing that, or are they just trying to be a little bit lazy? Because this is honestly just lazy. You guys have the people to do this kind of thing. You built Bambu Studio off of Prusa Slicer and got caught stealing that too, and only open sourced it after you got caught doing it. But you added so much to Prusa Slicer. You clearly have devs in place that can do this level of coding. So why would you decide that just stealing is the right move? And hey, if you didn't steal it, I'm just gonna say, prove it. Because at least in the world of the internet, it's not innocent until proven guilty. That, same, but a little different. Different enough, but not different enough. You feel me? Moving on to Discord member Rod, who had a Bambu failure, but not in the way that I've had Bambu failures. He had, well, way too good bed adhesion. We've got a Flexi Dragon here that was printed on what I believe is an X1 carbon. And unfortunately, the filament stuck to the build plate so much that it tore the layers off the print itself, basically creating a failure mode for a print. This happens often with silk prints, and it's why Bambu has actually built their own silk profile. I don't know what Rod was using here. I assume he was using the silk profile, but silk filament is coated in something. Some people think it's TPU, some think it's polycarbonate. I don't know what it is. We've talked about it previously. I want to get it tested to find out. But it means that it has very poor layer adhesion. So for models like this, even trying to flex a bed can actually be pretty dangerous to the model itself. If you are printing flexible models like this in silk filament, be aware. your layer adhesion is way lower than you likely think it is, and it might be good to up your temperatures a little bit to make certain that your part sticks to itself. Because hilariously, it's not about bed adhesion, where we often see here on PrintFixFriday that we have issues with bed adhesion. This case, it's not. The bed adhered great. In fact, this part looks beautiful outside of the fact that it's kind of missing some pieces. So kudos to the Bambu printer for doing a great job, but, you know, unfortunately, the filament is the thing that failed here. And outside of raising temperatures, there's not really a great way to fix this. And the problem with silk filament is the higher the temperature you go, the less shiny the filament is to a certain point, and then it also gets really stringy when it gets really hot. I like silk filament for the way that it looks, and that is the extent at which I like silk filament. It is terrible for dimensional accuracy. It is terrible for stability. It is terrible for strength, both interlayer and otherwise. It's just not a good material. And I would love to see a company come out with a better silk filament that has all the shine without any of the downside. Maybe it's time for Printed Solid to come back and bring Elixir back. Oh man, I want more polyalchemy Elixir, but I think we're gonna call it Jessy's Elixir. That would make sense at least. I miss that filament. It was a lot stronger than your traditional silks in my experience. Last but not least, my Bambu is, it's done. It's just done. It's done with its own life at this point. The machine is now telling me that the system state is abnormal. Please restore factory settings. It has factory settings. This was the last thing that the printer showed me before I boxed it up, and I am now awaiting a label from Bambu to ship it back, because officially, I've given up. And it's dumb crap like this, that it just says, oh, hey, if you're having the problem, just factory reset the printer. Okay, I'll factory reset it. It still throws the error. Why? No clue. The printer actually still prints. Right before we boxed it up, we did some little microphone holders. And yeah, some of them printed, had a couple that failed. I think the printer's just angry that I'm sending it back and it knows it. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm hoping that the Bambu X1 Carbon that is in my garage, even though it does have some damage that we need to fix, will be a better experience. And if you're excited to see me dig into it, figure out what failed and why, and then fix it, make sure to get subscribed, because we will be doing that in an upcoming live stream as we move into a new content calendar that includes significantly more live stream content than we saw previously. We're actually cutting back on the videos that we do on Wednesdays to once every 2 weeks, and those off weeks is where I will be streaming. So you're gonna get more live stream content with more printer unboxings, more first looks, more printer builds as I look to build my first Voron, a Trident 300 supplied by LDO Motors, who I am so excited to see at the East Coast Rep Festival, along with the really awesome new Peopoly Magneto X. I want one so bad. That printer looks so good and could very well be not just a Bambu killer, but also a single tool head Prusa XL killer. Yeah, you heard that one here first. And if you're wondering about it, Future Grant talked about it in Wednesday's video. We'll card to it so you guys can take a look. It's like I filmed that video earlier today. I'm preparing for East Coast Rep Festival. But if you guys will be at ERRF, make sure you come over and say hi. We'll be there all weekend. So if we aren't filming, come up, say hey, get a picture, hang out, and ask us about Victoria pins. We'll have some of these for sale, $5 cash. It'll be the only time we're gonna have them this cheap. You gotta find me in person. If you wanna get a enamel pin with the cat on it, come find us at the East Coast Rep Festival. I have a few. We'll be walking around both days, hanging out, taking a look at awesome vendors. We're gonna be filming a ton, so please make sure you guys come out. And of course, I would love to know what you all want to see there as well. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you stand on Bambu versus Prusa, and what is getting to be a slightly tiring back and forth? It's like, why do we have to keep doing this? This, to me, is not a traditional print fail, but it is a fail enough to talk about it here. Let me know your thoughts in those comments below. But that is all I have for you on this 107th episode of Print Fix Friday. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and a massive thank you goes out to all of our channel supporters whose names are listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. Remember, if you want to help out and support the work that we do here, you can do so by clicking those links in that description down below, joining PayPal, Patreon, YouTube channel members, and coming soon Printables and Thangs memberships for as little as $1 a month on certain platforms. Right below me will be the entire PrintFix Friday series where you can see print failures and how we fixed them. And right next to that will be our East Coast Rep 2022 video series. So if you want to see some things that we looked at last year, we got some awesome stuff coming up this year. So stay tuned. I will see you all down in those comments and in the next one. Take care.